want to be unforgettable. You want to be the person someone thinks about when they're alone, the one they mention in conversations, the one they can't quite figure out, not through desperation or performance, but through something natural that makes you magnetic. Most people try to achieve this by being impressive, by showing off, by constantly proving their value. That doesn't work. Impressive people are admired and then forgotten. The people who actually stick in your mind, the ones who create low-level obsession, they're doing something completely different. They're using 3 invisible behaviors that tap into psychological mechanisms most people don't understand. And once you know what these behaviors are, you'll see them in every person who's ever captivated you. Let me show you exactly what makes someone impossible to forget. Behavior 1. Strategic inconsistency and emotional availability. You're not always the same. Sometimes you're warm, engaged, fully present. Other times you're distant, preoccupied, less available. Not in a dramatic or manipulative way, just naturally variable. This keeps people slightly off balance. They can't fully predict you. They can't take you for granted. Every interaction feels slightly uncertain, which means every interaction matters more. When you're consistently available, you become background noise. Expected, comfortable. People stop wondering about you because they already know where you stand. But when your availability varies, when your warmth isn't guaranteed, people pay attention. They notice when you're present. They wonder why you're distant. Research on intermittent reinforcement shows that unpredictable rewards create stronger attachment than consistent ones. When people can't predict when they'll get your full attention, getting it feels more valuable. They start chasing those moments of connection. You're not playing games. You're just not being constantly available. You have moods. You have other priorities. You're not always on for everyone. That natural variation is what makes you interesting. Behavior 2. Selective vulnerability at unexpected moments. Most people either overshare constantly or never share anything real. Both are forgettable. The people who stick in your mind are the ones who are mostly composed, maybe even slightly guarded, but occasionally reveal something surprisingly real. Not trauma dumping, not performing depth. Just a moment where the mask slips and you see something true underneath. Maybe it's a fear they don't usually admit, a dream they rarely share, a genuine reaction that shows you who they are when nobody's watching. These moments are powerful because they're rare, because everything else is controlled. When someone who's usually put together shows you something vulnerable, it feels like a gift, like you've been trusted with something special. Studies on self-disclosure show that vulnerability creates bonding, but only when it's unexpected and selective. Too much vulnerability and you're exhausting. Too little and you're distant. But strategic moments of realness, that creates obsession. People remember the version of you that surprised them, the moment you weren't what they expected. That contradiction, that complexity, is what makes you unforgettable. Behavior 3. Genuine indifference to their validation. This is the hardest one because you can't fake it. If you're trying to make someone obsessed with you, you care what they think. But the energy that actually creates obsession is not caring whether they like you or not. This doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. It means being so secure in yourself that their opinion doesn't define you. You're pleasant, you're engaged, but you're not performing for their approval. You're not watching their reactions to see if you're landing. You're just being yourself and letting them take it or leave it. Research on attraction shows that perceived indifference increases desire. When someone seems unbothered by whether you're interested, they become more interesting. Because most people are eager. Most people are trying. But someone who isn't, that's rare. That's magnetic. This works because humans want what seems unavailable. Not games playing unavailable. Genuinely unbothered, unavailable. When you don't need someone's validation, they start wondering why. What do you have that makes you so secure? Why aren't you chasing like everyone else? That question keeps you in their head long after you've left the room. The pattern across all 3 behaviors is the same. You're not constant, not predictable, not performing. You're variable in your availability, selective in your vulnerability, indifferent to their approval. And that combination creates a low-level obsession because you become a puzzle they can't solve. People obsess over what they can't fully understand or control. If you're always available, always open, always seeking their validation, there's nothing to wonder about. You're a known quantity, filed away and forgotten. But if you're sometimes there and sometimes not, if you show them glimpses of depth without revealing everything, if you genuinely don't need them to like you, you become the person they think about when they don't mean to. The one they measure others against. The one they can't quite forget. You don't create this through effort. You create it through being genuinely whole without them. Through having a life that's interesting enough that you're not always free. Through being secure enough that you share selectively, not desperately. The obsession isn't about you doing something to them. It's about you being someone who doesn't need anything from them. And that, more than anything else, is what makes you impossible to ignore. Stop trying to be impressive. Start being unpredictable, selectively vulnerable, and genuinely. That's what people can't stop thinking about.